Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm Michelle Majuk. I'm the Analyst part of the show. This is Nycole Bernstein, the Armchair, and we are here heading into Week 14. We have a lot of interesting matchups to talk about today.
Yeah.
Some really important games, especially in the AFC. Like so many important games where it can really change up the playoff picture. I know you're wearing your Texans jersey right now. You're super proud of them. They've been killing it. They're coming alive. They're trying to get back into this playoff picture. And, you know, the game against the Chiefs this week is going to be
It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah. And we have differing
There you
opinions on who will win that game.
Yeah. And I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why you're wrong.
We'll debate that. Well, you were very wrong about a lot of your games last week.
A lot is dramatic.
You went 9-7. That's bad. I went 13-3, so I officially made the comeback again. You went up by 1 in our little competition of best picks throughout the year. Now I'm up 3 games again.
Yeah, and that will end this week.
No, I don't think I'm ever going to lose again. I'm going to
doubt it.
Thriving.
I got a little. I'm not going to say cocky because I wasn't cocky. It was more so I got like, ooh, if I can win this and this, like these kind of random picks, then I would be really looking good. And unfortunately, they did not go well.
I did great. Now, the Sunday games sucked. Like Thanksgiving games,
Yeah.
Friday, even the Friday game was pretty bad too. But the Thanksgiving games are great. And then it just kind of went downhill from there.
It really did. Yeah. Sunday was super not that exciting.
But we have an amazing slate this week. So I'm excited to talk about all these games. We'll get into every single Week 14 game, give you our prediction and who we think will win and lose. Some of them we agree on, some of them we don't. So we'll debate those that we don't. We'll start with NFL news, though. Not much going around, but we got some news on Justin Herbert, on Mike Evans. So we'll get into that and then do our game picks right after that.
The opening drive.
Justin Herbert underwent surgery for a broken left hand, which he suffered in the first quarter in Week 13. Now, he only missed 8 plays. He came back in, won the game against the Raiders, all cool, dandy, but it didn't throw a ton. I mean, they really leaned on that run game. He also was never under center after breaking his hand, which makes sense. Now, he undergoes surgery on Monday. Like, he went through surgery on Monday. It was successful, and he says he expects to play. Now, they don't play the Monday Night Football, but that's going to be hard to play through. Yeah. But I do think a broken hand Justin Herbert is better than a Trey Lance.
Yes, I agree. But
and it's a huge game against the Eagles.
But if you watch that Steelers game last week, and I'm sorry to do this to you, but Aaron Rodgers looked crazy trying to play one-armed. And I get it's not your throwing hand, but I feel like it throws everything else off because you're so worried about, protecting this that,
And you can also see one sack and you land wrong can knock you out of the game, just like it did with Aaron Rodgers. So even if Justin Herbert starts, it doesn't mean he's going to make it through it.
Right.
But, I mean, it is a huge game. They're right there in the wild card. And the wild card race on both conferences are really, really tight. So all of these teams need to win. So I do think he's going to push through it. Hopefully the line can protect him. They have a lot of issues there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah. Now, Mike Evans is going to come back, it looks like. I mean, when this injury happened, it was like, yeah, maybe he'll come back for the playoffs. He's likely out for the year. They already opened up his practice window, and it looks like he could be back as soon as this week. Maybe he takes one more week off. Also, Jalen McMillan, their second-year wide receiver, finally got his practice window open as well. He's missed the entire year. And he was a huge part of their success late last season, scoring like 8 touchdowns over the last 5 games or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I just made that up. But it was somewhere along that line.
Somebody look it up, please.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if I was dead accurate there. But he did score a ton of touchdowns at the end of the year. He's a good player. And now if Baker, goes into the end of the year, gets into the playoffs with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin back healthy and now Emeka Egbuka and Jalen McMillan, they finally have that foursome that we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
That could be a really scary team to face in the playoffs.
No, it could be great for them. I think, especially because, we just kind of look at their division and we say, okay, Tampa gets to go to the playoffs, right? Maybe. I mean,
The Panthers are
I mean, they're right there.
They're the most
so-
confusing team in the league.
The most. So yeah, this is great for Bucks fans. You all right? You're so excited. You want to see Baker do so well. Yeah, I think Bucky Irving coming back.
Yeah.
Right. All the pieces are starting to align at the right time for the Bucks.
Yeah, I would not want to face them in the playoffs in the first round.
Mm-mm.
And they're like, so this is what happens in the NFC South. Whoever wins that gets a, it's like, okay, this team really deserved to be in, but they get a home game. So the only way the Bucks are making the playoffs is if they win this division, and that means they get a home game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They could be really sneaky good, and I'm rooting for Baker. I'm happy for him.
Very good.
All right, we have so many good games to get into for week 14. So I want to just dive right into them because there's so much to talk about. Starting with the best Thursday night football game that I'm so excited for. High scoring. We love fantasy football, so we love high scoring, and this should be one of them. So let's dive into week 14.
Between the 20s.
We have a great game to start off week 14, Thursday night football. We have the Cowboys at the Lions. I actually like that it's at the Lions because I think if it was in Dallas, it'd be one of those games where it's like, I would be very certain the Cowboys would win. But with it being at Detroit, maybe that changes things up a bit. I'm still picking the Cowboys, though, to win this game. You're picking the Lions. Both of these teams need a win. I mean, they're both sitting out of the playoffs right now. The Cowboys were not looking like they're a playoff team whatsoever until recently, but won 3 straight. And the Lions are not currently in the playoff picture. So this is a desperate game for both of them, but I'm really worried about the Lions' injuries right now.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple games have just not looked like the Lions that we're used to. They started off the season and we were like, oh man, it's like, well, I say vintage Lions. It's not vintage, it's like Lions from 2 years ago. But, I'm like, wow, this is the Lions team that I know. And then the last couple weeks, it's like, who are these guys? What are they doing?
No, and I think the biggest issue is losing Sam Laporta. I think that's a huge guy that they lost in the middle of the field that Jared Goff relied on.
Yeah.
And then Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down immediately in that Packers game. They only lose by a touchdown. That could have been the difference of that game. And that's where it comes down to me for this matchup is they have issues across the offensive line. They have issues if Amon-Ra St. Brown misses this game with Sam Laporta out. With their secondary, they have injuries as well. I think the Cowboys are going to put up a ton of points. Now, the Lions should also be able to put up a ton of points against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense has been much better with Quinn and Williams. They've faced some easier opponents. Like they've been better on the run game, but again, they haven't faced very good running teams.
Sure.
But they're still going to be able to pass on them. But how are the Lions going to stop CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens and Jake Ferguson and Javonte Williams?
But I feel that way about the Lions offense, right? You've got it. Let's say Amon-Ra plays because I really need you to play.
Okay,
sir.
It's Thursday. I feel like it's very unlikely for him to play. If it was a Sunday game,
I don't
maybe.
know. I mean, I think there's still hope.
Even if he plays, though, he's playing on a sprained ankle.
Sure, I understand that, but just him being on the field, his presence is scary to people, right? So that opens it up. The Jahmyr Gibbs is balling, so they have to continue to feed him. You've got Montgomery who can bring in those red zone touchdowns, right? And I mean, here's the thing: we don't need to forget that the Cowboys' defense is bad, especially their pass defense. So, Jared Goff needs to put this team on his back. I think this is the week that we say, look, you got to do this. You got to come out here and get a win, especially because of the momentum that the Cowboys have right now.
Listen, I hope Goff does that because I have him in my most important fantasy league and I need a win this week and he's my quarterback. But I do think he has a good game. I don't think they can match the Cowboys point for point without all their weapons. I think even like their backup tight end, I don't even know if he missed last week, Brock Wright. Is he even back? Like they need someone over the middle. And with Quinn and Williams, they have gotten better at run defense, which the Lions need their running game to go. So I'm going to pick the Cowboys. You got the Lions. Now Vegas has the Lions at -3.5 or -3. So 3-point favorites at home. pretty equal game because home team normally gets 3 points right off the bat.
Mhm.
I like Dallas +3. You
See,
like
I
the-
wouldn't. I think it's too sketchy.
Okay.
I think that bet is too sketchy. I'd stay way, way away from it.
That'd be really interesting if the Eagles lose this week and the Cowboys win.
Bananas from like the first like couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll get to the Eagles in a bit here, but let's talk about another really fun matchup. It's the Bengals against the Bills, two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league. I'm so happy Joe Burrow is back for this game,
Oh,
and I'm happy he has also a game under his belt, so it's not the first one. You know?
okay, but can we also talk about his little pre-game interview? How he said, they were saying, "How do you feel about being out here?" And he said something like, "We get paid a lot of money to play a kid's game, and so it's just a joy to be out here." If you couldn't have loved the man more,
I know.
he says that, and you're like, what a perspective. I
Yeah.
love this guy. I want him to do so well.
Yeah, because they basically asked him, like, do you think it was worth coming back? You already have a losing record. And he was like, yeah, I'm getting paid a lot of money. Like,
We'd love to see
I
it.
know. I really like that
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
It was a great answer,
Mhm.
even if he doesn't believe it, but great answer. We are both picking the Bills, though,
Mhm.
sadly enough. Listen, as a Steelers fan, I'm never rooting for the Bengals, but I'm rooting for Joe Burrow because I like him, but I do love Josh Allen even more.
Mhm.
But Burrow is 2-0 against Josh Allen. He's
Mm.
done well in his
Mm.
career. But at the same time as Burrow winning all 3 of his starts this year, he also only has 4 passing touchdowns in those 3 games played.
Mhm.
And the Bills' passing defense is very, very good. Their running defense is not, but I don't know if Chase Brown is good enough to take over a game.
Right.
I think the Bengals will put up points, but the Bills at home, how are they going to stop James Cook in that running game? The Bengals have no defense.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, the Bills, they're so confused. They're another, like, why are you losing? They should have lost to the Texans, but some of those other losses are just like, it just doesn't, it seems silly, right? But I think you're right. I think Chase Brown is a great supplemental offensive player. He's not the guy, right? Like, you want T. Higgins, you want Jamar Chase, like those are the guys, right? So I think I agree with you there.
Yeah, the Bills at home this year are averaging 32.5 points per game, nearly 400 total yards per game.
Yeah.
While the Bengals defense this year ranked last in points per game allowed, total yards per game allowed, passing yards per game allowed,
Yeah.
and the second worst on third down conversions allowed. Well, the Bills are second best at home. So
Mhm.
very hard for this defense. I'm rooting for a good game, high scoring, but especially if Dalton Kincaid is back, I just think.
I hope so. But
Because the Bengals cannot stop a tight end to save their life, and Dalton Kincaid would be
Totally.
so good.
well, and the Bills, I mean, they don't need to win, but they need to win. Right. So
They do. I mean,
Yeah.
right now they're sitting as a 7th seed, the last wildcard team. And if the Texans win this week, they have the tiebreaker over the Bills because they beat them.
yeah.
So,
So they have to win. There you go.
I mean, they could be looking out of the playoffs if they lose this week for at least the time being. But
Right.
They need to win. And the Bengals, if they lose, they're out totally. So they
Mhm.
need to win too. Now, another must-win game. We got the Steelers versus the Ravens. I'm going to die during this game. I am picking the Steelers.
Mhm.
You are picking the Ravens
I
because
am.
you always pick against the Steelers anyways.
Pretty
You
much.
go first. Tell your reasonable take on the Ravens because mine's not a reasonable take. It's just my feelings.
Okay. First of all, Michelle said a few weeks ago, I think it was 4 weeks ago,
Mhm.
that the Ravens would go 9-0
Mhm.
to end the season. They
And
did
I
not.
changed my mind before last week. I said the Bengals would win.
No, you did. Yes, you did
Mhm.
pick against the Ravens, but so you were wrong in
Mhm.
that. I just wanted to point that out for the people.
But I was perfectly right in the way that I said they're going to win a bunch of games. And then and then I chose when
Then
they
you
were going to
switched.
downfall. Yeah.
Yes. Here's the thing: the Steelers are probably stoked to not be at home, so that they don't get booed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty embarrassing. But the Ravens looked bad last week. Do we think Lamar's still hurt?
He has to be.
He's playing that way,
Mhm.
so I have to assume that there's something not right, not clicking. You have Derrick Henry, franchise man who runs like a crazy person. He's non-existent. He's not as existent as Derrick Henry should be. You have to rely, as Derrick Henry goes, this team goes, and so you have to rely on him in this game. Zay Flowers, you were garbage last week. I think he had 7 targets, 2 receptions. I could probably catch at least one. That would make me 50% of Zay Flowers, right? Like that's terrible. Okay, that's not going to work with this Steelers secondary. Okay, so Lamar has to stay agile as much as he can with whatever hurt he might still have, right? But the Steelers are, I think, especially it being in Baltimore, I think the Ravens have the edge against this Steelers team right now.
So the Steelers play the Ravens really well for the most part. Lamar Jackson is 2-4 against the Steelers in his career in the regular season.
Mhm.
And now the Bears lost by only 3 points in Chicago doesn't look bad anymore. That
Right.
they just beat up in the Eagles in Philadelphia,
Mhm.
right? So a 3-point loss with Mason Rudolph, their backup quarterback. It's like, okay, they just do not match up with teams like the Bills or the Chiefs at all. They're never going to beat those teams right now with Mike Tomlin and how their team is set up. They're not, I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
Like deep enough or
It's not like
clutch enough?
I can't think of the word. It's going to drive me
Well,
crazy.
I can't tell you what it is.
Like they don't go for anything. They're not risky enough. I
Oh,
guess.
okay, yeah.
They try to play it safe, and that's never going to win you a game against these top tier teams. But
Mhm.
when you're talking about divisional games, they're going to be close.
Mhm.
And I can give you stats why I think the Ravens will lose because Lamar's, struggling. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in the last 3 games. He's averaging 2.2 yards per carry on design runs this year, by far his career low. Like lots of things struggling there. And like you brought up with Zay Flowers in the passing game.
Mhm.
This is it. This is all I have to say. We're at that cycle again with Mike Tomlin where everyone's calling for his job. No one's going to give the Steelers any hope. On Sunday morning, everyone's going to pick the Ravens to win. The Steelers are going to win. I have lived this over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the Steelers are going to win.
Okay.
The Steelers are 5.5 point underdogs. Take the points or just
Mhm.
take the money line. I don't know how many times I've gone through this. This is how confident I was earlier against the Colts. This is right where we're sitting, where the Steelers were being, harassed and told Mike Tomlin needs to go. This is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does
And
just
then
enough to stay.
Then they'll lose to the Dolphins next week. Don't worry. But this week they will win. All right.
Okay.
All right. It's what they do.
Very good.
All right.
Very-
Bears versus Packers, another huge divisional game. The Bears are now the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Wild.
Not just the NFC North, in the NFC.
Yeah.
The Packers, though, are a half a game behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, so this is what's crazy. If the Bears lose this week, they could fall all the way to the 7th seed. Go from the 1 to 7th seed with 1 loss. That's how tight the NFC as a conference is this year.
Mm-hmm.
Huge game for both.
Mm-hmm.
I was picking the Packers because it's in Green Bay, but I actually decided on the Bears. But I'll let you go first. Why do you think the Packers will win?
Okay. I mean, these two teams, first of all, they play twice in the next 3 weeks. So
Huge.
whatever we see this week, we'll probably get something very similar in a couple weeks from these teams. They did split their games last year. Now, the win that the Bears had was that crazy field goal block that won the Bears the game.
Mm-hmm.
So take that with a grain of salt. But as a Bears fan, I think you are coming into this game wanting a win, obviously, but a more convincing win, right, in Green Bay. The Bears went into to Philly and destroyed and dominated Philly's game, but they not only did that, they dominated the run game, so much so they held the ball for over 40 minutes in that game, which is nuts. Obviously, Green Bay cannot allow them to do that. But the Packers are also coming off a really great win. Jordan Love, 4 touchdowns after he had looked kind of sketchy a couple weeks prior. 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Can they continue that momentum? I think so. This Bears defense gives up a lot of yards per game. And I think with Josh Jacobs and the running core here in Green Bay, they're foaming at the mouth to come in and to beat the Bears and say, no, you're not number 1 in this conference. We are.
And I get all that, right? This is very much a 50-50 game. I'm not going to sit here and be like, you're so dumb for picking the Packers. Like, no, that's probably the smart way to go. My thing is, I've been underrating the Bears for a long time now.
All season.
And I need to get back. Like, it's just because I think I was so high on them last year and they disappointed me. I have a hard time jumping on it now.
Sure.
And I mean, that win in Philadelphia, if that was in Chicago, I'd be like, okay, going to Philadelphia on Black Friday, a primetime game, and just absolutely dominating. I know they only won by 9 points, but it felt like there was never a time where you felt like the Eagles were actually in the game, and how good their run game is doing. And on paper, the Packers throughout the season look like a really good run defense, but over the last month, that's not been the case. They've allowed 125 rushing yards per game over the last 4 games. So they've been allowing a lot of rushing. Ben Johnson's going to lean on DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monagai, and Caleb Williams just has to not mess it up. And you know what the Bears are so good at doing is taking away the ball, like taking turnovers on defense. And Jordan Love can turn over a ball. He loves to do that.
He can.
So I think this is a couple turnover game by Jordan Love. And as long as Caleb Williams doesn't match him, I think the Bears can win this game.
Yeah, and that's fair. I think this should be a really great game.
The Bears are 6.5-point underdogs. Would you take 6.5 points for the Packers? Packers minus 6.5. Would you feel comfortable with that?
No.
Like, so you're picking the Packers straight up, but not by 6.5 points, right?
I think this is going to be a very close game, like closer than we think. Like closer than we think it should be, right? But yeah, no, this game might come down to a field goal.
Yeah, like a field goal. Yeah. So I'm taking the Bears plus 6.5 for sure. Obviously, I think the Bears are going to win.
Right.
But
right.
You would also take the Bears then plus 6.
I would. Yeah.
Okay. Now we get to your favorite team. Yay! Texans versus the Chiefs. And your Texans have won 4 straight. Talk them up. Why are they going to win this game?
Man, can we just take a moment for this defense, okay? Now every time they're on the field for offense, I just can't breathe. But I'm like, what? No. But I'm so proud of them. I think that was the game that I needed them to win to really feel like you're saying there's a chance, right? Like CJ had a lot of pressure coming into this game. Okay. He had a lot because he just let Davis Mills, well, he didn't let him, but Davis Mills came in, won 3 games in a row for Houston. And I think a lot of people this season have been questioning CJ, right? Is he the guy? He had his great first year. He kind of had a meh sophomore year, right? Is he the guy? Is everything we thought about him after year 1 actually false? And at the beginning of the season, he struggled. He really did. But he came in there. He did what he needed to do. He moved the ball where it needed to be, and they got the win. And I'm so excited about it. I think while this is, a very definitive game for the Houston Texans, I think they can go into Arrowhead and do the same thing because the defense is so stout and Mahomes has not looked good against really good defenses coming after him this year. The one caveat I will say is they cannot allow him to run because he has 1 billion rushing yards. It has subsided a little bit, later in the season. But man, if CJ can get time in the pocket, throw it to Schultz, throw it to Higgins, get it to Collins, rely on Woody Marks to run the ball when you need to, I think they have a really good shot at going into Arrowhead and kicking the Chiefs out.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams need to win desperately, right? The Texans are right there. They're the 8th seed in the AFC. Like, they need to keep winning to try to get their hopes up, not even just for a wild card team, for the division. Like,
yes.
If the Colts beat the Jaguars, anything is up for grabs there. It could get really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm 1,000% going to be rooting for the Texans in this game. But my heart says Texans. My head says the Chiefs will win. Because the Chiefs, if they lose, they are now 7 losses. And I will never count out the Chiefs, but there are 3 teams right now in the wild card spot sitting at 8-4. So they would need some crazy things to happen over the last 4 weeks to make it into the playoffs. Now, totally agree with you. Texans defense is amazing. And Patrick Mahomes under pressure this year, very, very bad. He's the 3rd worst in completion percentage under pressure. So they get pressure on him, great. This is my thing. think it's going to be a very, very low scoring game
Mhm.
because also the Chiefs defense is going to get to CJ Stroud. Chris Jones is going to be a menace.
Okay.
Okay. And CJ Stroud, like you said, when they're on offense, you worry.
I do.
And the Chiefs are not going to let them put up a bunch of points. And they don't really have a run game. Woody Marks looked better watching him than his final. Like when you look at his final stats, you're like, what?
Yeah.
We were both impressed with him watching him.
Yeah.
But overall, the stats weren't good. But they don't really have a run game. Neither do the Chiefs. And they're going to have to rely on the passing game and keeping CJ Stroud up. So I do think this game is like a 13-7 game, maybe 13-10.
Okay.
Maybe 13-9. Maybe it's just all field goals. I don't know. And it comes down to, which team gets luckier with the penalties and just maybe some special teams play. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs because it's home, because I don't see the Chiefs being out of the playoffs this fast.
But that's the thing is I feel like you're thinking of the Chiefs, 2 years ago, a year ago, 3 years ago. Remember last year, they struggled. The reason they did so well and ended up, where they did is because they kept winning those games at the very last second with all the things. And I think now this year we're seeing who the Chiefs really are.
No, I know. I said like they can't keep getting this lucky.
But I think you're giving them too much credit.
No, I mentioned before, like at the end of last year, going into this year, I said they can't keep getting this lucky. Sooner or later, their luck is going to change. And it did this year. Like they were getting so incredibly lucky last year.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think they're the better team than the Texans. I think this game is going to be out in really, really cold conditions. The Texans are used to playing in a dome.
Sure.
Are used to living in very cold or warm weather.
Yeah.
It was just 50 degrees here yesterday. We were both dying.
Oh, I wasn't. I loved it. But let me ask you this. Do you think the Texans are a better team than the Cowboys?
On defense?
A better team. You don't get to delineate. Yeah.
But I do think
you don't get to.
Because I think it's...
Who would win? Cowboys or Texans if they played this week?
Is it in Dallas?
Oh, my God.
If it's in Dallas, the Cowboys.
If it's in Houston?
Then Houston.
Okay, so you're going home team. So you think the Cowboys are better? Because I think that's what it comes down to. Cowboys beat the Chiefs last week. If you think the Cowboys are better,
that was in Dallas.
The Chiefs would win.
The Cowboys have such a good offense.
Okay. And okay.
I'm again, like I said, I'm rooting for the Texans. It's very, very close.
I'm not watching that game with you, by the way. I can't stand it.
Even though you hate on my Steelers every time you watch.
Well, that's because they're terrible. That's not my fault.
The Texans are, oh my goodness, I looked at next week. I was like, how is that possible? They were 6.5 point favorites for next week against the Cardinals. That makes sense. I'm still trying to find them. They are 3.5 point underdogs on the road. I do think it'll be a 3-point game. So
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, you're going to also be paying a very close attention to this game. The Colts against the Jaguars.
Listen, I wanted to ask from your expertise, what if they end in a tie? Would that be good for me or bad for me?
No, you don't want that because then they both get a half a win. You just want one team to lose.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Because then also it helps both of them in the wild card race. You don't want that.
Okay. All right. Because I thought, man, I don't want either to win.
Yeah.
What if either half win?
You want the Colts to win.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Because the Texans just beat the Colts and they get another game against the Colts. So
sure. Yeah. No, I'm going with Colts here. I think, but here's the thing. I'm also like, I'm just so biased against the Jaguars, but
I just don't really believe they're a good team.
I know, but then they keep winning games. And so like, it's like every week I'm like, oh, it's
the
Jaguars.
last 2 games they had the Cardinals and the Titans. Like,
well, sure. I mean, yes, I get it. But I think the Colts offense has just looked stagnant over the last few weeks. So all the momentum has been is presumably in the Jags' hands.
To be fair, they played the Texans crazy good defense.
Yes, no, I agree with you. But I'm not just talking about last week. I'm talking about the last few weeks when they started losing games and everybody's like, yeah, see, the Colts aren't that good, whatever. The question of Daniel Jones, though, being able to play, I think, because he has that fractured, what is it, a fibula or something?
He looked fine.
He didn't move very well.
No, but he was throwing dimes.
Yeah, but he didn't
Danny
move very
Dimes.
well. And I think
that's his nickname.
Danny Dimes. Yikes. So I think, he's obviously not going to struggle as much against the Jaguars as he did the Houston defense. So I do think the Colts come out with the win here, and I want them to.
Listen, I don't trust the Jaguars at all. And there's one reason for that. And his name is Trevor Lawrence. He has an 81.6 passer rating on the season. That's the fourth lowest among 33 qualified quarterbacks this year. This is the bottom 5 quarterbacks. Cam Ward, sitting at a 1-11 record. Joe Flacco, 2-8 record. Dylan Gabriel, 1-5 record. Then there's Trevor Lawrence. He's the fourth worst, and 8-4 record. And then the fifth worst is Geno Smith, 2-10 record.
Oof.
What the record for what Trevor Lawrence is doing?
Yeah.
He can't connect with Brian Thomas Jr. He has found a little bit of a connection with Jacoby Myers. Fine. I think it has a lot to do. Like, I get it. They beat up on the Chargers, so people are a little like on them. But like the Chargers, that's who they are. The Chargers charged, and they just have embarrassing games. The next 2 games after that, I'm not going to give them credit for winning a 3-point game against the Cardinals. I don't care what you do against the Titans. You can beat them by 100, and I don't care.
Mhm.
It does not matter. The 3 games prior to that they lost, the Texans, the Seahawks, the Rams. Yeah, all hard games, but this is not going to be an easy game.
Mhm.
It is at home for them, but I think Daniel Jones looked just fine last week for the break in his leg. Like, he was throwing very accurate balls to Josh Downs. We can both admit that the Texans got really lucky with some favoritism from the refs, maybe.
Excuse me?
Like, the calls were not being called in some parts.
I don't agree with that at all.
I think the Colts win this game, and we both do.
That was a bold thing to say right at the end of our time for the Colts game.
Would you like to counter?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, and one more good game here.
Well, my blood pressure did rise. I want you to know.
The last great game of our slate that we'll talk about. It's a Monday Night Football, Eagles versus Chargers. Now, if Justin Herbert doesn't play, I don't know how good of a game this will be.
Right.
Even though it'll be kind of enticing to see what Trey Lance could do.
Mm.
But we're choosing the same. Well, no, we're choosing
Mm.
differently. You put Sea Eagles, so you caught me off guard there. Seagulls.
Seagulls.
I'm taking the Chargers. You're taking the Eagles.
Mhm.
I don't think either of us feel good about our pick.
Well, no, because I literally wrote Chargers/Eagles. I don't know. That was what I wrote in the notes because I thought Chargers, then I thought Eagles. And then once it came down to actually having to choose, I thought, you know what? I'm going Eagles. Because the Eagles are so frustrating. Because a couple weeks ago, we said, oh, they're going to win. They allow the Cowboys to come back when they're up 21-0 and win the game. And then last week, you've already talked about it, Chicago just beats up on them. Let's just say it that way, right? So unless Saquon can Saquon, right?
And he can't.
And he can't this year. I mean, he had 56 rushing yards last week against the Bears defense
Mm-hmm.
that averages 133. You know how many Jalen Hurts had? 20 less than Saquon. That's embarrassing. And I know Jalen runs, but like your number one RB should not be getting 56 yards. That's terrible. Now, AJ Brown needs to continue being a diva, apparently, because it works for him. He got 132 yards last week. Yay. But you lost. So yippee for you, I guess. I don't know. But the Eagles have lost 2 games in a row, 2 times now this year. They've already lost their 2, so they can't. They're not going to lose a third in a row. They're just not. I mean, and honestly, with Herbert being questionable, I don't think the Chargers beat them if they don't have Justin Herbert for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
that's why I went Eagles.
If they don't have Justin Herbert, I'm allowed to change.
No.
Yes, I
No,
am.
that's not how we do this.
Yes, I'm allowed to change.
Literally no. Literally no.
Okay, well, I obviously wouldn't choose the Chargers.
Literally no.
Okay. All right, fine. Whatever. I think Justin Herbert will play anyways. This is my thing with the Eagles. I think they're having the meltdown that they had at the end of the 2023 season. So
Mhm.
they came off that 2022 Super Bowl appearance. They did really well to start the 2023 year. What did they get? They started like 11-1 or 10-1. They lost 5 of their last 6 games that season. Now Hurts was a little bit banged up throughout some of that time, sure. But I can see it going the same way. This team seems to hate each other. Like,
yeah.
They do not like each other.
Their locker room is not
No.
fun to be in.
AJ Brown just wants the stats. He doesn't like The last 2 games, he had big stats. I'm sure he's thrilled. He doesn't care. He was so mad when they were winning games. He wasn't having stats. So now you could be happy that you got your numbers and you're losing if that's what you want.
Sure.
And the Eagles are committing a lot of penalties because I don't know if it's coaching or whatnot, but they're committing 7.6 total penalties per game this year, tied for the 4th most in the NFL. They only have their third down offense is one of the worst in the league. They're only converting 34.5% of their third down attempts this year. The only teams that are worse are the Titans, Vikings, Browns, and Falcons. None of those teams have more than 4 wins on the season.
Yeah.
And the Chargers have a good passing defense. So Saquon Barkley is going to have to go off in this game for it to happen. And he's just not doing it. Like he can't do it. It's not happening. He's averaging career lows in carries per game, rushing yards per game, everything like that. Like he's just struggling. And so is Hurts. So like it could be due to the line or whatnot, but they've been thriving on those long deep passes, and that's pretty much the only thing that's working for them.
Yeah.
And the Chargers just don't allow that. Are you regretting picking the Eagles?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I think all your stats are correct and right, but I just
Yeah.
think they're going to figure out a way to win this game this week.
Okay. Well, that was nice of you because my Barkley stats were definitely wrong because I meant Hurts was doing career lows. I don't know if Barkley's are career lows, but he's struggling.
I like that you gave me an opportunity to question you, and I was like, no, she's the stats girl.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with it. Yeah.
I appreciate you just trusting me blindly. It's
Hmm.
very nice.
Scary.
All right. We have a bunch of not very exciting games to get through. We'll run through these. Commanders, Vikings. We're both picking the Commanders. I mean, their defense looked much better last week against Broncos.
Much better.
They should have won that game.
They should have won that game. I'm so sad. Poor Marcus Mariota. Excuse me. Mariota. Oh my gosh, that was so annoying. But I did feel really bad for him. You know, at the end of the game, he's sitting on the field, like, you know, on his legs. And I thought, I just want Jaden Daniels back.
Yeah.
You know? So I would love for him to come back this week. You know, it's day to day, apparently. So, you know, I think it'd be really good for him to come back. Either way, though, I do think the Commanders win this game. The Vikings are trash.
It's only because the quarterback position, really, but
how do you even say this man's name? Brahmer?
yeah, Max Brahmer.
4 interceptions last week, 0 touchdowns.
Well, JJ McCarthy will be back, but that's not any better.
No, but it's like they were not good, and JJ McCarthy is not good either.
It is crazy because I was like, well, no one can be worse than JJ, and he was.
And then he is.
He was.
And so, yeah, I mean, the one place I'd like the Commanders to clean up, especially this week, is they allowed Bo Nix 321 yards. That is too many yards for any quarterback to be throwing against you. So clean that up. Let's get a win. Let's move on.
Would love to see Jaden Daniels back. But yeah, JJ McCarthy, it looks like he's cleared. He'll be back. But he has 6 passing touchdowns to 10 interceptions over his 6 starts. He ranks last among qualified quarterbacks in completion percentage. Ranks second to last in passing yards per attempt, ranks last in passing touchdowns to interception ratio, and last in passer rating. So we'll see what they do with him this offseason. But I will go with you. I think the Commanders win. Cardinals, Rams. I think this is a spicy one. I think this is going to be a better game than people are going to give him credit for.
Okay.
Now, this is on the road in Arizona. And do I think the Rams should win? Absolutely. But the Cardinals have nothing to lose. And there is nothing scarier than playing a divisional opponent who has nothing to lose. The Cardinals are already kicked out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett is playing for, I mean, right now, he knows he's not going to be the starter for the future for the Cardinals. Like, he's playing for other teams to try to get that backup contract again. All these players are going to just try to play that upset role where they can take down the Rams because they hate them, their own divisional opponent. So, I mean, maybe on a 4th down where you shouldn't be going for it, they can do crazy things. And the Cardinals have been losing very close games. I mean, the games that the last 2 games they lost against the Jaguars by 3 points. They lost against the Bucks early on Sunday by 3 points. Like, they're losing a lot of close games. While the Rams, we saw Matthew Stafford come back down to earth.
Yes.
And this is the thing with Stafford. He is streaky. He can go through amazing spurts, and he can go through spurts where he throws a ton of interceptions. And that started against the Panthers last week. So if that happens again with the Cardinals, I'm picking the Cardinals. I'm taking a risk here. I'm going to take the Cardinals.
Which I love because that will just give me an automatic W in our,
Maybe.
year.
I should get
long.
2 wins if this one hits.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but then you still want to get to change your answer to the Eagles? No. Double dipping. Okay, so last week was a fluke. It was one of those games that, like you said,
It was rainy too, yeah.
Matthew Stafford looked human finally, right? Threw 2 interceptions. He didn't even just do the one; he did 2, which is not great. They only lost by 3 points. You're acting like they got blown out.
It's against Panthers, though. I think the Cardinals
Still, but the Panthers are that one team. I think they're the one team that's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Their record does not indicate, who they probably actually are. So they're going to regroup. Xavier Smith should not have been the top receiver for the day. He was, right? So how do you get Puka the ball? How do you continue to get Devontae Adams the ball against this Cardinals defense? It shouldn't be that hard. Cardinals defense, pass defense is fine. But again, there should not be a problem getting those guys the ball. And honestly, Blake Corum played really well. As behind Kyron Williams. And so that's really great to know, right? We already knew he's pretty good, whatever, but had the majority of the yards rushing. I think the Rams just had their 1 week where they were like, whoops. And then now they're going to come in, they're going to be the Cardinals and everybody will stop talking about it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to be shocked if the Rams beat the Cardinals. They
Sure.
should. But I also just think it's maybe last week was a trap game, but I actually think this week is the real trap game. And it's just because there's nothing to lose for the Cardinals. And Jonathan Gannon's playing for his job at this point. Not playing, but coaching for his job. Really nothing to lose.
Sure.
Seahawks, Falcons. And this is a pretty easy one for both of us. We're taking the Seahawks because the Falcons, man, I mean, they have fallen apart.
Yeah, it's not good.
You can't lose to the Jets.
No. I will say though, the Seahawks win their shutout of the Vikings. It's misleading. And here's why. The defense gets a touchdown for Seattle, which their defense is great. Don't get me wrong. They got out of their 26 points, 14 of them by the kicker. Okay. So that means, truthfully, the offense only scored 1 touchdown last week against the Vikings. So that's scary to me. You couldn't go and play Minnesota and get more than 1 touchdown.
Jackson Smith and Jigba got shut down.
He was literally non-existent. I think the first half he had 0 points.
Yeah, he only ended with 2 for 23.
Yeah, crazy. And I don't know what the Vikings were doing to him, but whatever it was working. So other teams that are playing the Seahawks, you should probably do that. But I mean, I have to say, even though, yes, Seahawks should win, their defense is too good. The Falcons are confused at what they're doing, how to play football. I am concerned with the lack of scoring last week. And maybe it was just one of these games where you're playing a team that's not doing very good. And so you just keep kicking the ball and getting points and you keep settling for that, But
the Seahawks will not win a playoff game. I'll mark that down right now.
Mark it down.
They will not win a playoff game, but they will win this game.
Yes.
Because the Falcons stink.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Saints versus the Buccaneers. We're both going Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers have not been great lately. They have lost 4 of the last 6 games. They barely beat the Cardinals last week. They've been so banged up. And we have to remember Baker's playing with the AC joint sprain. They haven't had Mike Evans. They finally got back Bucky Irving. But like I said earlier in the show, they're getting healthy again. Now, maybe Mike Evans isn't back in this game. They shouldn't need him for the Saints.
Yeah.
The Saints are 2-10. It doesn't matter who they have back there at quarterback. It's just not going to happen. That's really what I have to say about the Bucs winning. I think they're going to be able to run all over them with Bucky Irving. I think that we really need to see Emeka Egbuka show back up. He's been a ghost. They have not been able to connect, but we did see a good connection between Baker and Chris Godwin this last week, which was big. Yeah. And I didn't think Baker played hurt. He looked fine.
He looked like Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to make passes and, getting hit and still trying to throw the ball. Yeah, I agree with you there.
And they just played about a month ago. They won 23-3, and it wasn't a good game by the Bucs either. It's not like, oh, the Bucs played so well. No, they didn't play very well, and they still won by 20 points. So, yeah, we're both going Bucs. Broncos, Raiders. Are the Broncos just have the easiest schedule of all time? Like, what is happening?
Apparently, yeah.
They're 10-2, and they don't look like a 10-2 team in the slightest. But they're gonna be 11-2 because the Raiders aren't gonna beat them.
No.
I mean, they have one win since week 2. Like
Mhm.
from week 2 through week 13, they have one single win, and it's against the Titans.
Mhm.
That's it.
I know.
Geno Smith is so bad, and he's not gonna be able to do anything against the Broncos. And the offensive line is so bad. Ashton Genty's not gonna be able to do anything. Maybe Brock Bowers gets a couple good catches, but the Broncos are gonna win this game.
Well, and I think they didn't get to sack as much last week against the Commanders, and I think they're going to come in guns blazing and just light up Geno Smith. Yeah.
And get so many interceptions,
Totally.
touchdowns. This game, we actually have different. It could be interesting. Dolphins versus Jets. I apparently just love to take the Jets, but
You do.
I have gotten a couple wins out of that in the
Sure.
right moments. Like last week, I took them to beat the Falcons. I'm taking them to beat the Dolphins. You're taking the Dolphins on the road. It's going to be a cold game in New York, not in Miami. The Jets have won 3 out of their last 5 games. Now the Dolphins have won 3 straight, so that's cool. But I just
take
think
that line out of my notes.
Oh, sorry. I think the Jets can do enough. I mean, the Dolphins barely beat the Saints.
Yeah.
It looked like it was going to be an easy win, but they kept keeping it close. They could only beat them by 4. They could only beat the Commanders with Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
And this was a home game for them by 3 points.
Yeah.
It's worrisome. The Dolphins aren't good. The Jets aren't good either. But I think it's going to be a close game, and I think the Jets can pull it out.
I don't know. I mean, I think the thing about the Jets is right. You have to not let Breece Hall just have his way. And the other thing is Adonai Mitchell, your favorite guy
Yeah, he's not going to do anything.
of all time, had that really great game last week. Not going to happen again.
Yeah,
It's one of those kind of fluke one-off, like, oh, okay, that guy had a good game, and now we forget his name, right? I hope his mom's not watching.
I don't think.
But but I mean, Miami they have too many weapons to not be winning games. I mean, Devin Achane is a beast. Jalen Waddle needs to be catching a lot more balls, getting a lot more targets.
Non-existent lately.
Yes, and so they need to go back to those 2 guys over and over and over and just wear down the defense, and they should get this road win.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
I disagree. Now the Jets are. I keep going to the next week. I'm so sorry. The Jets are 3-point underdogs.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I guess.
I like it.
But I'm taking that +3 for sure. Last game, Titans versus the Browns. Oh man,
my poor dad. he called me last
toilet
week,
bowl.
and he's like, he's like, I think the Browns could win out, and I was like, oh, Dad. And I just entertained.
Does he even want them to win out? Why would you want them to win out? They need a quarterback.
But because he loves them.
Okay.
I know it's sad. But
He thinks they're going to be the Bears, Bills, Steelers, and Bengals.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did. Don't laugh at him like that. No, I think it was really great, honestly. But they unfortunately lost last week and, crushed those dreams pretty fast.
Oh,
but
well, he was including the 49ers in there too.
Yeah, he was. I think that was with the sketchy one for him. But anyway,
not the Bills.
Not at home against the Titans,
Yeah.
they're going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win.
Yeah, I will give you this. The Browns will win this game. They got this one, but I think it's probably the only one left on their schedule. And I don't know if the Browns should want to win.
Well,
The players are going to want to win. They're going to play all out. Like, I get that. But as a fan, both of these teams, I mean, Cam Ward doesn't look to be the guy, but the Browns desperately need to be in a good position next year in the draft to pick a quarterback. You really are going to take this one satisfaction of beating the Titans?
Yeah, but
to
the problem is, are the Raiders going to win any games to give you that first spot?
I don't. But the more you win, the lower you get.
Well, of course, obviously, but
Yeah.
even if the
But then
Browns
you can,
lose out,
then you can start going past the Giants and some other
Well,
bad teams. You don't want to do
sure,
that. The
sure.
Falcons, like, you want to keep losing.
well, they're going to
But
win this one.
They
so
are going to
that's
win this
4
win
games.
because the Titans just can't win. They won one game this year, just pure luck. And this is in Cleveland. The defense is too good. Just feed Quinton Judkins. He should get 40
Yes.
carries in this game.
Easy.
Feed him. That's all you got to do. Myles Garrett is going to probably maybe break the record of a season in this game because Cam Ward gets sacked nonstop.
Oh, man. And he's got that 25 on his
27. Yeah, right.
Did he change it? No, it was 25.
Is it 20? What does he need?
No. He wants to get 25.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. And he's at 18, I believe, 19, something like that.
Yeah.
So
he's at, oh my goodness, why can't I read this?
Yeah, I don't.
19. He's at 19.
Jeez. Yeah.
I
so
have
he
it
needs
right in
6
front of me.
more,
I could not read it.
But he only needs 4 more
Yeah.
to beat TJ Watt from a couple years ago.
Yeah, to beat the record, the
Yeah.
22 and a half.
Right.
But he only needs 4 sacks and he could get it in this game.
Yeah. I love it.
I hate it.
Well, I know.
I hate it so much. But TJ Watt sucks. So there's that. I said, don't pay him, but they did. And he's not doing anything. He's too old now.
Oof.
Anyways, that is it for our games. What a depressing note to end on. But we still have our 2-minute warning. And we're only going to get more depressing because we are going to be haters right here. And we're going to talk about the team that we want to miss the playoffs. This has nothing to do with reality. It's just a team
does it?
We just don't want to see them in the playoffs because
Yeah.
gross. All right. So
I
we're
think
going to get to
everybody
that.
could guess what I was gonna say.
To end the show right now.
2-minute warning.
All right, Nycole, I have a feeling I already know who you're going to pick because you hate me. What is the one team that you want to miss the playoffs?
What is the one team you think what are the 2 teams you think I'm going to pick?
I think the one is the Steelers. I don't know. The Chiefs or the Steelers?
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Okay. All right.
I let you think I was going against you, but I wasn't.
Okay.
I don't hate the Steelers. I just never want to see Aaron Rodgers do anything good ever.
Okay.
So I'm picking the Chiefs. Why? Because if they lose this week, like I am predicting, do you know what percentage chance they have to make the playoffs?
Like 6?
11.
Oh.
Which is higher than I want it to be, but 11% chance, which is not very high when you're counting to 100. So I really, 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 really want the Chiefs to lose this week against Houston. If they don't, here are their next games. Chargers, they could very well lose. Titans, they should not lose. Broncos, they could very well lose. Raiders, they should not lose.
This isn't about the teams that you think will miss. It's the team you want to miss.
No, for me, it's both.
Yeah.
Because again, I think they're going to lose this week,
Uh-huh.
which gives them an 11% chance. And then it's gravy from there for me.
Well, it'd be so fun to watch a playoffs not worrying about the Chiefs coming hot.
Oh my gosh. It'd be so
nice.
Great.
I'd be like, I could breathe.
I just don't want to see Patrick Mahomes' face anymore on my TV any more than I need to. And that ends week 18.
I really hope so as well. That would be my top pick. But I didn't want to go. I wasn't because I really don't want to see this team more. It was very close between the Chiefs or this one, but at least the Chiefs could be entertaining. When they get into the playoffs, they can be entertaining. This team, I do not want to see on my screens in the playoffs, and it's the Jaguars.
Of course it is.
They're 8-4. I don't know how. They are so boring. Trevor Lawrence is so bad. I just do not and they're going to fumble so hard in the playoffs. They're not going to win a game. You can't trust this offense whatsoever. I know the defense overall has been okay, but still no. I don't want to see anything about the Jaguars in the playoffs. I think that this makes for such a bad opening game. This is what I know it's going to happen. If the Jaguars make it, they're going to have the Ravens will win the division, let's say in AFC North, and the Ravens will get to play the Jaguars at home in the first round and actually win a game when they shouldn't be. Or and I don't want to see them go face the Patriots. They're going to get their butts kicked or have to go to Denver. That's the one way Denver would win too. But on the road against that defense, what a bad wild card game, no matter what, if the Jaguars are in it. And I just don't want to see it.
I like that because that means if they don't make it, Houston probably did. AKA did. So either way, I love it.
I hope they just lose out. But that is it for today's episode. We hope you enjoy your weekend full of great football, starting with Thursday night. So excited for that game. We'll be back next week. Hopefully me bragging about being up even more in my game picks. We will talk to you then. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.